So this is my school improvement project. So the goal of my project is, I'll just read it. So in order to rid Brighton of its reputation of poor student sportsmanship, I plan to employ new methods of monitoring current sportsmanship in sporting events and ways of educating students to use better sportsmanship. So first of all, I just want to start off with a couple of questions. So just by raise of hands. So can somebody tell me about the most fun memory they have about being in the Brighton student section at any sporting event?
Just leading the student section with cheers and stuff. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a great time. Kitty?
You just want to stand with friends and just cheer on your team and just have fun with it.
Tyson?
Football games when Ponte or somebody does the flag wave when they run down the...
Yeah, part in the Red Sea kind of thing. Yeah, those are super fun. And I really enjoy those times too. But now I kind of want to shift that to the opposite perspective. So what is are there any times that stand out to you that you remember some kind of cheers or kind of getting at someone in particular on the other team? Chloe?
So I'm not sure, I think it was last year, I don't know, but we were given Spellcrest and they hung the husky on the stick and then swung it around and stabbed it and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a little too much.
Yeah. Tyson?
So there was the Olympus game, we were at Olympus, and Ben would touch the ball and everybody would boo him or say something.
Yeah.
Or when was it? Oh, when we do the national anthem and then they do the boom for the ball.
Yeah. And Spencer, do you have
You said that.
setters? Okay. So yeah. So I think that there are definitely a lot of fun aspects about being in the student section and being a student at sporting events here at Brighton. But I also think that there's kind of some different aspects that can be not so great. So anyway, the problem is that Brighton actually has a really bad reputation for having some kind of not so great behaviors going on in the student section, and particularly attacking specific individuals on other teams. I remember when we played Judge this year in basketball, and there was that big African kid on the other team, and everybody was chanting "Five Head" at him because of his hairline. And I was like, that's a little much. We probably shouldn't do that. So anyway, so Brighton is known for having kind of a rude and rowdy student section, and then also a lot of cheers that are targeted at specific individuals. And I think that improving this aspect of our school will improve the whole school in general. So these are kind of the ways I'm going to go about attacking this and kind of the way I'm going to achieve my solution of ultimately better sportsmanship. First, the first step is I want to place vice principals or teachers in front of the student section, which we're kind of already doing now, but just kind of further that. And then I also want to hold assemblies each year that will kind of educate students on how to use better sportsmanship and things. And then also I think it would be a great idea to kind of reinforce old cheers and to kind of employ new cheers for our student section to do. So then I'll kind of elaborate on all of these. So anyway, putting a VP or teacher, so pretty much any faculty member, near the student section monitor cheers, I think is a really important part of improving sportsmanship, because if we don't address the issue while it's being done, then there's not really any point in taking any of the other steps. So I think that it's important to make people realize in the moment when they're kind of crossing the line. And then I think that this needs to go until faculty believes that it's not really necessary anymore. Because right now, obviously, Sherwood believes that it's sort of necessary because there already is a faculty member in front of the student section. So I think that furthering this and continuing to do this will definitely help. So the assemblies is kind of the biggest key point of this entire, of all these objectives. So I have a video about another school in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area.
New intent, booing and jeering aren't allowed during Wisconsin.
Between football practice and soccer games, it appears Menominee Falls High School is ready for fall sports. But it's the school's fan boot camp that officially kicks off the season.
If you go fight, win!
Which
ourselves up instead of bringing other team down.
The Menominee Falls student section hasn't always had a reputation.
So in 2012, the WIA reprimanded Menominee Falls High School for being some of the worst sports. And we needed to change something.
That's when the athletic director started a fan boot camp to remind students how to act at games and select leaders for the student cheering section.
I think it gives the kids a voice.
Well, I think it works because you have so many great students that just love to come and cheer on the teams and love to come just have to be a part of the community.
The school has won the WIAA Sportsmanship Award the past 3 years, something the athletic director thinks any school can achieve if they put in the effort.
If they can promote the sportsmanship and share how valued it is to the school and the community, I think that's when the change starts happening.
So, so that's kind of a relatively decent idea of what I want to do, except for I think that a lot of this is held outside of school, and I would be more interested in doing it in school so that we can kind of get more students to attend. And I think that it's a great idea how they chose students to lead the student section, and I know that we kind of already have that with an SBO, but they don't really do that at every sporting event, but I think that if we did that on a consistent basis, then that would be a really, really big plus to help the sportsmanship of our student section. And then another thing that I think we should do is employ new cheers and kind of revamp the old ones to kind of get students to participate in them more. Because, I mean, the cheer team leads it, but I mean, I don't think anyone really participates in any of the cheers that the cheerleaders lead. So I think that we definitely need to do that. And then also get some props. I know that at colleges, they have signs that say all different cheers on them and stuff. And so I think those are pretty cheap to get. And they're just poster board for the most part. And so that would be fun. And then I also think that we could hold a survey at the sportsmanship assemblies that would either give suggestions for new cheers that students want to do, or just kind of help allow students to choose what cheers they like the most so that we can just use those ones. And there's my citations and then any questions.